agree. I would say maybe if you want to do it, to run your own business, maybe an MBA, but those are also, those are mainly if you want to go in the corporate world and stuff like that. But there are short courses that you can take as an entrepreneur to learn about how to manage your taxes, how to create systems in your business, because systems are so important. Systems help you to get organized in the business and to have records and so forth, so that you don't have to keep manually repeating things. So systems are really good. The short business courses will teach you so many things. They'll teach you a number of things about how to run the business and what you need to look at, how to keep focused on the vision, because when you're in there you have to do that. Yeah, but also when you're partnering, you can partner with friends or other people you've met in your circles who are not interior designers, who are specialists, maybe in finance or in administration, or those are good people to partner with, because they will manage that side of the business and you don't have to stress about it.
Law? Do you need a lawyer for your business?
Yes, you will need a lawyer every now and then. But not a permanent stay, but someone who can come in every now and then to advise you. You definitely will need that.
Or if they're like clients who
or if you have contracts that you need to understand before you sign. Every once in a while you might need a lawyer for your firm, but until you get way bigger you won't need a full-time lawyer.
Back to furniture. When do you think it's appropriate for someone to opt for customized furniture instead of sourcing out something that has already been pre-made? When do you think it's right for someone to get customized furniture?
A client, you mean? Okay. I think it depends on a number of things. One of them could be how soon the project timeline. How soon you need you need the space functional. So because custom designs take time, they have to be designed, then they have to be made, and if you're making them out of the country, then they have to be imported, or if you're making them within, they still need that kind of lead time. So, and you can't know at the beginning what you need before you've designed. So furniture usually comes at the tail end of the project. So you need to decide, of course, based on the timeline. Timeline is one of them. Budget is another, because custom-made items are normally more expensive. They're more expensive, because custom touch includes the designing of them as well, and then plus all the other things that go with even non-custom design. So that discussion, you usually have it with a client to see what's more suited, and also if they have like a specialized kind of space, because for example, if you're looking at a round form sort of building, and you want furniture in that form, you won't find that furniture easily on the market, right? So you might opt to custom design some of the furniture, also depending on what the space is like. The space may need some custom design furniture, but you have to balance that, the cost, timelines, and the need of the project.
And then also, do you think great interiors can fix poor architectural decisions?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, because interior design can also be cosmetic. So it can come and cover up some of the things that were not well thought through when the design was done of the building. But apart from that, you can't like, there are some things that it can't fix. For example, if you already have a poor plumbing system, it has to be fixed. You get it? There are some technical issues that you would not be able to solve with some interior design or cover up. Usually the decisions that could be sorted out with interiors, poor architectural decisions that can be improved with interior design, are really cosmetic, right? But let's say if the spaces are not functioning, maybe you can also reorder the use of spaces, right? You can plan the space again, how it functions, how it flows. Generally, a good project comes from the architecture working already. But as you know, also helping to change the function of a space, of a building rather. So you can just have different finishes, different materials, different orientations of things and furniture and all of that, and it can just like that change the use of a space.
Yeah.
And maybe some walls which are not structural, you could get rid of some if maybe you want to have a bigger space, and use it differently. So still yes and no. Some errors can be corrected with
and I think
interior
most
design.
of them can be avoided by bringing in the interior designer like way on from the beginning.
Yes, that's a good point. Yes, of course. Yeah.
What do you think it takes to start up a good farm in East Africa? Because you said you've been in Italy, you've seen how they do things there, you've been to Kenya, you've worked in Uganda. What do you think it really takes to set up your own farm in East Africa?
Maybe just to reiterate some of the things I've already said.
Yeah.
I think to run a good farm, you need some knowledge. You need some knowledge as an entrepreneur first of all, in the field that you're getting into, but also in the field of business. You need to have some partnerships that work. Some you may not have full-time, partners, but you could have partners who come in whenever you need them. But it would also be helpful to have some peers that you partner with, that you can make decisions with, that you can have them take on some roles and you take on some roles, so that everything doesn't fall on you. Because as the designer, you also have to focus on that, on being a good designer and on your growth as a designer. I don't know if you've heard about continual professional development, CPD. So that's CPDs, in full continual professional development, which really goes to say that as a designer, whether an architect, interior designer, or any other designer, you just have to keep growing and improving yourself. So there's already a lot of expectation on you as a designer, and then now you're also going to wear the shoes as a business owner and entrepreneur. So you need some partners that can take on some of those roles, and who are good at them already, who are great at that in that field. Maybe a partner in business, or who has studied business the same way you've studied design. So that would be a good partner to work with, so that they handle those matters. Maybe a good partner in marketing, someone who is excellent at marketing, someone who is excellent these days at social media and all of that. So you might partner with someone like that, so that you focus on the design aspect, and the technical part of the business.
And what else do you think is missing in our design ecosystem right now in East Africa? What do you think we should add?
I think lacking? Maybe what I could say is lacking is in school. Mostly in school. Because of course what is lacking in school shows up when you come to work, right? So I think in school, designers could also be helped. Are you studying? You're a student of interior design. So do you have any courses that you've taken that relate to business? Anything in finance or management of a business, office systems, anything?
Not yet.
Is it there? Do you see it there?
There is.
In which year?
It's in second year.
Second year.
Towards the end.
What course you need? Do you know Do you know the name of the course you need?
Oh, there is client interactions and.
Okay. That's nothing to do with business, because business is the client interactions is still you as an interior designer. How do you make presentations? How do you maybe negotiate? Well, negotiation a little bit is part of business, and that would be a good thing to teach. But costing might be one of them. I think you might learn costing at some point. Yes, because how to at least generate costs, bills of quantities, and all that stuff. You should learn that at least in school. I'm sure it's somewhere in your curriculum. But teaching business, the systems that are required in business, financial systems, management systems, administrative systems, those, like the basics, should be taught, so that when you come out, you're not bleak, you're not just seeing things for the first time, because it then means for like the first 2-3 years, you're also a student again. You get it, from zero. So if you learn some of those things in school, and maybe they'll teach you things that are, helpful for your business as a designer. How to manage your time, how to record that you've managed your time, because some of your contracts might actually be time-based. Or and you might have to submit timesheets in order to get paid and things like that. So some of those things should be taught in schools, so that you don't come out in the field and you're completely surprised. That's one. Then two, like I said earlier, all designers, interior architects, and in that line should spend at least 60% in the field, site work, because you learn so much. Everything you've learned practical. In theory, you need to see it happen. If you spend more time on the site, you learn a lot more things. Yeah. So those are two things I think really need to happen in school, so that they make you more field ready. Yeah. But in the field itself, if you're asking what is lacking here, I think this might just be like education of the general populace about these things, because I find that, of course, every time I'm talking to clients, I'm also trying to educate them a bit on what we do, so that they don't say you just draw lines, or you just decorate as you put things together. Yes, because I think people don't understand. The one thing I know they don't understand is the magnitude of work in interior designs, and you guys don't get it either yet.
We don't.
You don't, because your projects in school are small, and so you're still shielded. When you come out here, the amount of detailed documentation that you need to produce in order for a project to be successful is quite hectic. You need to there's a lot. You just look at the things in here. There has to be a document that has all the things in here outlined in terms of what are their specifications, how many are they, what do they cost, where are they going. Imagine all those are documents that you have to produce as an interior designer. So interior design is very hectic. I find it a lot busier than architecture. Architecture at whatever scale, the interiors of that project are always a larger scale, like a lot more work than the architectural building itself. And then furniture is not that busy, but furniture evolves so much. You have to be extremely creative, and you have to be extremely creative, because furniture pieces are sort of easier to make on the market. It's a little different from buildings. A building will be there for a long time, and it will probably, but furniture, they may want to change every so often. Someone may see this in your house and they're like, no, I want something different. So, you have to constantly be creative. But interiors, it's about the volume of work. People do not understand how much work you have to put in to make a space function. It just looks like you're just going to put 2-3 nice things together. No, dear. There's a lot of technical work that goes behind that.
Do you think clients in Uganda are investing much in design?
Not really. I think because because I've worked, with private clients and with public or government clients. You can tell that people don't yet value and are not yet ready to invest in design by how much financial value they put to something. You can find someone willing to buy a chair at 6 million shillings, one chair. They will not give you 6 million shillings to design a room like this one, where that one chair is going to sit with lots of other things. But they will be willing to buy that chair
at 6 million.
Yes, and so you realize that they have not understood the value of a designer, and who is going to put all these things together, and your time, and they haven't yet understood it. In East Africa, it is still, we're still trying to get there. Maybe buildings, they have understood it, but buildings of a certain level, because people still think that they can still do their buildings without an architect. And a certain size of a building, yes, maybe, but as you go further, it's more complex. A more complex building, you need some expertise, right? But interiors are the same, but people look at it like you're just decorating. They don't know that there's a lot of technical work to even to just connect the different specialties that are required to make it function. Partial scholarship, because I participated in a competition and I won, so partial scholarship, 50%. It was expensive. The whole course was 21,000 euros for 1 year. 21,000 euros, please.
21,000 euros.
Yes, and that is only tuition only. And then 3,500 was the enrollment fee. So, my friend, it was a lot. Then imagine there is also accommodation and all of that. Yeah, euros is like 4,000, huh?
Yes.
Could be there.
This is 84 million.
Only tuition.
That's only tuition.
Yes, only tuition for 1 year.
For 1 year?
Yes.
And how many years?
No, it was 1 year. It was 1
1
year. Intense, so you couldn't even work. You had to, it's not those courses you could work, study and work, yeah. So you had to work full time, study full time. And so I got to be able to get there was a competition, and it was a design competition. So I participated in that, and when I won, I got 50% scholarship, and I had to pay the other 50%. But the company I had worked with by that time, I think I had worked with it for like maybe 6 or so years. And of course, I was going to work and come back and work with them. So they gave me the other part of the scholarship.
The remaining 50?
Yes, the remaining 50%, and even added me some more for accommodation and all of that.
Wow.
But I was it was a study loan. So I was supposed to come back and work and pay as I work.
That's enough for that question. We could do rapid fire. Rapid fire, yes or no answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Good. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Ready for you.
For the rapid fire question.
Yeah.
So the first one is form or function?
Function.
Okay.
Yeah. First. Okay, I want to qualify. That one. Form is always important because that's one of the final things they see.
Yeah.
But function is how people feel when they're in that space.
Yes.
Are they able to move around that space? Are these distances feeling comfortable?
Yeah.
All that is function. Yeah, form comes later, like the huge solid things that you've put in probably, and the way you've shaped the space. But function is very important. You could have a nice looking space, but if it isn't functioning, you failed.
True.
But of course, you can also have a space that functions, and you see, function is also sort of tied to form a little bit.
It is.
Because the form is about the final finished look of the space. It has to also work with what the function of that space is. Yeah, so it's sort of a little intertwined. But if I was to, where I would start from is function always, and then I could work the other things around.
And then minimalism or expressive design?
Same thing, both. But in design, in my actual design work, I find myself to be a minimalist. Because I'm always trying to see, because minimalism is interesting. You see the full expression of the thing of the material, how it comes together, how it works when the design is minimalist. When the design is so expressionist, you may not be able to see the authenticity of how it comes together. But that's not always the requirement. Sometimes you need something elaborate to just create an around it, or a feeling. Yeah, so both of them really, depending on what the project needs.
Also depending on what the designer.
By the way, not really. No. What the project needs is more important than what the designer prefers. Yes. What the project needs is the most important. Of course, your style comes in, and that's mostly why the clients pick you, because they've seen your work, and they've seen what your final product looks like. So they're like, oh, I like that person's style. And in furniture actually is where I'm minimalist, but I think in design I'm expressionist. Yes. Yeah.
One design trend in Uganda that we shouldn't continue with, something that we should retire.
Yeah, I think that one is an interesting one. One of them, this one is in architecture. Putting tiles on the facade of a building. Please, we need to stop it. We may have many tiles in the country and they are cheap, but please, let's do something else. Like tiles outside the building. It feels like the bathroom has
what about tiles on the roof?
No, tiles. Which kind?
Tiles.
Like what, on the floor?
On the roof.
On the
roof itself.
I haven't seen that.
On the roof. Tiles on the roof.
Which kind of tiles?
White tiles, white and black, checkered, but on the roof.
On the roof, not on a flat.
No, on the roof. I've seen it before.
That one should not even
start.
On a club
roof.
That one should not even start. But the outside the building, what I was saying, haven't you ever looked at a building and you felt a little bit exposed, like it's a bathroom outside? Like the tiles they've used, their bathroom tiles? Please, everybody, just tell everyone, please, we cannot do that. Not in this Uganda of today. Yeah, I know tiles are cheap and there are many nothing.
Very many tiles, broken tiles.
No, there is a style. There is a style where you can use tiles, and it's maybe can bring out culture or something related to that. But this one that we do here, it's just tiles are cheap. They are available. Let us put tiles as the finished product, and maybe they are easy to clean. We can use better finishes. So because that feeling of as if the bathroom is outside is terrible. It's terrible. You just need to, you can be more creative than that, I think. And then also another thing is just buying tiles that because they are both brown, we can just put them in the space. Tiles need to color
because they are both brown.
Yes, like different types of tiles which are both brown. Then someone looks and says, "Hey, no brown, lady brown. We can just put them here and then add the other brown ones." No, please. We need to. Designers need to be coherent. But of course, most of the time, the people who do that have no designers. So we can't even say what style should we let go. We should just let go of the clients not using designers. And then most even clients who have money, they decide to do their own things, and you just see a lot of expensive ugly things, finishes. They can do better. They can do better. They should pay someone to actually do their designs and improve the space. Because people are stressed. People are stressed out there. You don't want to enter a space that increases your stress. If you study the psychology of color, you will see, or even how materials are put together can even increase your stress, or can give you, can soothe you. And guys should create beautiful spaces. It's not difficult. They should just use designers.
Give us one thing that students underestimate.
Students underestimate the need to be trained under a professional. They think that once they get out of there, they have their chipapula. They can just start. No, you should not underestimate the need to have an apprenticeship or a mentorship. It is so important. It helps you prevent so many pains that can shorten your life. Stress shortens life, So you don't want to go through unnecessary stress that others have already gone through, and you can learn from them. Because 5 years under someone who, or even 2-3 years under someone who has gone through that journey, can you sort of become like them in a very short period, because it has taken them probably much longer to get there, and it will take you much shorter to get there.
And they can see when you're about to also go there and be like, no?
Yes, of course, because you're working with them, they don't want you to go the wrong way, because, they're showing you the ropes, and then from there you will know exactly what to do. And you can even train under 2 or 3 different people, depending on whether you got what you wanted in the first place or, the second place.
So then, can you give us one habit that every serious designer must build?
A habit that you must build, I think, take time off to travel. Take time to travel and see, because you will realize that if you travel and see things, you'll be like, so even this exists. I think that was one of the singular best things that I've done that have opened up my mind, being able to travel. And on some projects, you're very fortunate that you travel because the client wants you to go and, procure things and stuff. But even just in your life, let your holidays be meaningful. Save for some money that you've worked hard for at the end of the year. Travel to some destinations that would inspire you to. And they don't have to be, out there. It can even be to different spaces within Uganda, because you haven't seen half of the things that are happening here. Just go and have a meal somewhere and feel that atmosphere and look at things and try and say, hey, how did they do this? Because there's first of all, there's nothing new under the sun generally, but everything is out there. You can find almost anything you need out there. So just do some bit of traveling. Take some time off and travel and see, because you can also see things online, but when you haven't touched and felt and experienced a space, it's a lot harder for you to appreciate it. Here we are bombarded by so much online. You will forget, you will see something and you'll be like, how was this done? Unless you see it physically, you may not be able to appreciate it easily. By the way, all these stories I've been telling you are in that book there, that book, which someone can even read in like 24 hours, and then you give it to your friend and your other friend and your other friend. So 5 of you can just buy that, just small like that, and you can read it and pass it on and pass it on and pass it on. So anyhow, and all the stories I've told you are in there plus more. So, and even how I started the business and what it took, the financial part, how I actually managed to put it together. It's all in there. Anyhow, so...
It's okay, this is the book. No, it is okay. It is okay. This is the book, From Architecture to Carpentry with Love, by Miss Christine. So I think that's it for the podcast.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, for teaching us a lot, and thank you guys for listening. I hope you have learned a lot about the experiences that she has gone through. Stay tuned, for the future podcasts.